places in this world you're never meant to see. Islands erased from maps, caves sealed for eternity, vaults locked tighter than any prison. Not because they're forgotten, but because they're mysterious. There are places scattered across this world that you're not allowed to visit. These are the places surrounded by whispers of curses, experiments, lost time, and things far beyond human control. Today, we're diving into some of the most forbidden places on Earth you're not allowed to visit, Kuwait. And the reason is very dark. So guys, first, North Sentinel Island, India. Imagine standing on a beach so untouched by time that not a single footprint exists, except yours. The sky is overcast, the waves relentlessly, and beyond the thick wall of jungle ahead, silence. But not the peaceful kind, the type that feels watched. This is North Sentinel Island, a remote patch of land in the Bay of Bengal. It's surrounded by sparkling turquoise waters and absolute terror. Just 30 square miles wide, it's home to the Sentinelese, a tribe so isolated they've remained completely untouched by modern civilization for over 60,000 years. No internet, no fire, no spoken contact with the outside world. And most chilling of all, they want it to stay that way. In 2006, two fishermen drifted too close while sleeping in their boat. Locals say they were dragged onto the shore, never to be seen again. The Indian government tried to recover the body. Helicopters flew in. But every time they got close, they were met with a barrage of spears and arrows launched from the tree line. The bodies were still there, half buried in sand. Not just outsiders they attack. A missionary, John Allen Chow, paid fishermen to illegally drop him off in 2018. He wanted to spread the word of God. He never made it back. In his journal, he wrote that the tribe stood with tense eyes, holding their bows tightly, as if preparing for something. He kept walking. What happened next? No one knows for sure. But the fishermen saw his body being dragged along the beach before they fled in fear. Even satellites avoid this place. And the Indian Navy has declared a 3 nautical mile exclusion zone around it. No boats, no drones, no planes, nothing. Why? Some believe the tribe is protecting more than just their way of life. There are whispers, rumors, that the Sentinelese aren't just isolated, but immune to time itself. That disease doesn't touch them. That their DNA holds something modern science cannot explain. Or maybe, just maybe, they've seen what the rest of us have become and chose exile for a reason. No one knows for sure. Because if you step foot on North Sentinel Island, you never leave. Second place, Room 39, North Korea. In a city where every movement is watched, where every whisper could mean execution, there's a single room that controls an entire nation's darkest secrets. It's called Room 39. Hidden somewhere inside a gray government building in Pyongyang, Room 39 doesn't exist on any official map. There are no signs, just a heavy steel door guarded 24/7. Behind it, not weapons, not missiles, only money, power, manipulation. It's believed that Room 39 is the financial heart of North Korea's ruling elite, generating billions through illegal arms deals, counterfeiting, cybercrimes, and bizarre international schemes. From fake Viagra to ghost-owned restaurants in Europe, every dollar that flows into the regime's hands may trace back to this one room. And here's where things get truly strange. Defectors say Room 39 isn't just a financial cell, it's a testing ground. One man, known only as Mr. K, escaped in 2013 and later told South Korean intelligence that deep beneath Room 39 lies an underground wing, a lab where human behavior is controlled using drugs, hypnosis, and even VR simulations. According to him, selected citizens were brainwashed and inserted into other countries as silent spies, so deeply programmed they didn't even know they were agents. Trigger words, embedded memories, and altered identities. Officials deny it, obviously. But in 2016, a North Korean restaurant worker in Malaysia suddenly began speaking fluent German, and something her coworkers swore she never knew. The next day, she vanished. No passport, no camera footage, no trace. Some think Room 39 is more than a vault for criminal wealth. Some think it's where North Korea experiments with the boundaries of human control, not just for war, but for domination without detection. And here's the chilling part. No one knows how many sleeper agents have already been activated. Third place, Lascaux Caves, France. In 1940, 4 boys chasing a lost dog stumbled upon a hole in the ground near the village of Montignac, France. What they found inside wasn't just a cave, it was a portal into human history. Deep beneath the forest floor, their lanterns flickered to life and revealed something no one expected. It was covered in paintings. Not crude marks or symbols, but detailed, vibrant images of bulls, stags, and horses. Colors still intact. Movements captured mid-leap, eyes watching, the Lascaux Caves. Experts called it the Sistine Chapel of prehistoric art, dating back over 17,000 years. But the deeper archaeologists went, the stranger things became. Some animals on the walls don't exist. Creatures with twisted horns, spiraled limbs, or blank human faces. Paintings are buried behind others, as if someone tried to hide them. But then, something happened. Years after the cave was open to the public, the visitors began to feel sick. Workers complained of dizziness, nausea, headaches. The walls began to sweat. Fungus bloomed across the art like veins. By the 1960s, the cave was sealed permanently. Scientists blamed it on humidity and human breath, but not everyone was convinced. In 1983, a conservationist working near the cave entrance reportedly found new markings on a wall that had been previously cleared. A bison with 6 legs, its eyes gouged out, carved with precision. A man died in his sleep that night. His journals never recovered. Only his assistant ever spoke about it. He disappeared 6 months later. Today, no one is allowed inside the real Lascaux Cave. Tourists visit a replica built nearby. The original, protected by the French government and monitored around the clock. But why protect a cave that's just old art? Some believe the Lascaux Caves weren't meant to tell stories. They were meant to warn us. The symbols, the distortions, the layers, they weren't decoration. They were containment. And whatever's behind those ancient walls, who was never supposed to be seen again. 4th place, Snake Island 21, Brazil. Roughly 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo, Brazil, lies an island so deadly the government has completely banned civilians from ever stepping foot on it.
Locals call it Ilha da Queimada Grande. The rest of the world knows it by a simpler name, Snake Island.
Step onto the shore and take just 10 steps inland, you'd be dead in less than an hour. That's because Snake Island is home to the golden lancehead viper. At first glance, it looks like paradise. Lush rainforest, untouched beaches, ocean views in every direction. But if you were to dock your boat there, one of the deadliest snakes on Earth. Its venom is so potent it melts human flesh, dissolving tissue and stopping the heart within minutes. And here's the truly insane part. There are an estimated 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. Legend has it, decades ago, a lighthouse keeper lived there with his family. The floorboards, the ceiling. The entire family was found days later, motionless, twisted, and unrecognizable. Isolated, peaceful, until one stormy night, he didn't lock the doors. Locals say snakes slithered in through the windows.
Since then, the Brazilian Navy patrols the island's waters. Scientists are occasionally granted access, but only in full hazmat suits, and never alone. But there's more. In 2009, a poacher claimed to have retrieved a vial of golden lancehead venom, worth millions on the black market.
But something went wrong. His boat washed up 2 weeks later with the hull torn apart from the inside. No body, just one thing left behind. A handwritten note, scratched into the wooden deck. They don't just crawl anymore. They wait. They listen. They remember. Of course, the Navy called it an urban legend, just another story blown out of proportion. But talk to the locals, and you'll hear a very different tale. And they'll tell you something else. They believe the island wasn't naturally infested. They believe it was created. An experiment gone wrong. Or worse, a prison for something never meant to escape. And if those snakes ever find a way off that island, 5th place, Surtsey Island, Iceland, where I'm. On November 14th, 1963, something impossible happened off the southern coast of Iceland. Fishermen spotted black smoke rising from the sea. But it wasn't the ship on fire, it was the ocean itself, boiling and bursting. Within hours, magma tore through the waves, climbing skyward. Days later, from nothing but open sea, a new island was born, Surtsey. Formed by a violent volcanic eruption that lasted 4 years, Surtsey is one of the youngest places on Earth. A blank canvas. No humans, no buildings, just pure, untouched land. And that's exactly how they intend to keep it. Icelandic government has made it illegal for anyone to set foot on Surtsey except a select few scientists. No tourists, no cameras, not even drones.
Why? They say it's to study natural ecological progression, but some things don't add up. The first team of researchers found something unexpected.
Within weeks of the eruption ending, plant life had already started growing faster than scientifically possible. Seeds with no known origin. Insects no one could identify. Birds arriving in patterns that defied migratory logic. One team reported hearing a low, rhythmic humming coming from beneath the ground. It wasn't volcanic activity, it was timed, like a heartbeat. Instruments failed when placed near the source. When they returned days later, the area had completely shifted. But by 1992, all research logs were sealed. Access to Surtsey became even more restricted. Today, only 2 or 3 scientists are allowed on the island per year, and only for short, timed visits. But rumors persist. A marine biologist who worked on Surtsey in 2004 has disappeared during a routine survey. His last radio transmission mentioned something that still haunts those who heard it. Movement under the rocks, it's not natural, it's watching me, it's not alone. Authorities chalked it up to disorientation, but his body was never found. Some believe Surtsey isn't just a new island. Some believe it's a gateway, a scar in the crust of Earth where something ancient was released. And maybe that's why we're kept away. Not to protect the island from us, but to protect us from what's underneath it.
Sixth place, the Vatican Secret Archives, Vatican City. Beneath the cobblestone streets of Vatican City, guarded by Swiss soldiers and sealed behind locked iron gates,
Lies one of the most mysterious and forbidden vaults in the world. The Vatican Secret Archives. Over 53 miles of shelves buried deep underground, holding more than 12 centuries of documents that no one outside the church is allowed to read. Not historians, not journalists, not even most cardinals. They say it's just old paperwork. But if that's true, why all the secrecy?
some of the documents stored here are confirmed. The excommunication of Martin Luther, letters from Michelangelo, the trial records of the Knights Templar.
But that's just the surface. What lies deeper, no one knows. A whispered theory claims the archives contain a book written by Jesus himself. Some believe the church holds ancient architectural sketches, drawings said to be inspired by visions recorded during intense spiritual rituals in the 1600s, when possessed individuals reportedly described the underworld with identical, chilling precision. One former archivist, who left the clergy without explanation, once claimed he read a letter from Galileo to the Pope. Warning, not about the Earth revolving around the sun, but about something I saw through my telescope. Something that moved and watched me back.
He died in silence 6 months later. Suicide, they said. And what about the chronovisor? A rumored device said to be locked inside the archives. The time viewer, allegedly built in the 1950s by a Vatican priest and a scientist from CERN, it supposedly allowed users to witness any moment in history.
Crucifixion, the fall of Atlantis, the signing of forbidden books. It was dismantled, they say. Too dangerous, too powerful. And yet, the rumors won't stop.
Because the Vatican doesn't just guard relics, it guards secrets that could shatter reality. Lost gospels, banned prophecies, and evidence of things that defy science, and everything in between. Access is denied. Cameras are prohibited. Entry is only granted with the Pope's personal permission and only to read one document at a time, under supervision, with no copies allowed. Which raises the question, what are they so afraid we might find? 7th place, Mezhgorye, Russia. High in the Ural Mountains of Russia, hidden beneath snow-covered peaks and thick pine forests, lies a town that technically doesn't exist. It's not on most maps. It has no open roads, no tourism.
The people who live there, they never leave. This is Mezhgorye, a closed city, guarded like a military base but disguised as a peaceful community.
Surrounded by electric fences and watchtowers, the entire area is under constant surveillance by armed security forces.
But here's the unshackling part. No one outside Russia's top brass knows what's actually inside. Locals say it's connected to Mount Yamantau.
The nearby mountain that satellite images reveal has been hollowed out, possibly the size of a small city. Trucks, cranes,
and ventilation shafts are visible from the sky, but the Russian government claims it's just a food storage facility.
A storage facility with missile defenses, 24/7 patrols, and zero civilian access? Not likely. Some believe it's a massive nuclear doomsday bunker, capable of housing government officials, scientists, and military personnel for years if war ever broke out. A fully self-sustaining underground world. Others go further. They say Mezhgorye isn't just preparing for war, it's preparing for survival after something far worse. A defector in the 90s claimed the site is home to Project Icarus, a classified program aimed at manipulating tectonic fault lines.
According to his testimony, Russia had developed early versions of seismic weapons, devices that could simulate natural disasters to destabilize other countries.
He vanished 2 weeks after the interview aired.
The footage?
Pulled from the network and never aired again. Still, Mezhgorye operates in silence. The lights stay on. Supplies are shipped in at night. Trains arrive with no passengers but leave with classified cargo. What's inside Mount Yamantau? A bunker? A weapon? Or something older that should have stayed buried? No one knows. And those who try to find out, don't come back. 8th place, Poveglia Island, Thing Times, Italy. Just a short boat ride from Venice lies an island so cursed, locals won't even say its name out loud after dark. Poveglia. From a distance, it looks abandoned. Crumbling buildings, overgrown trees, a broken bell tower frozen in time. But the moment your boat gets close, the air shifts, the water feels colder, and the silence heavy. Because this island isn't just haunted by stories, it's haunted by history. During the 14th century, as the Black Death swept through Europe, Poveglia became a quarantine zone, and ships suspected of carrying the plague were forced to dock here. Thousands of infected were left to die, burned alive, buried in mass graves, or simply left to rot under the sun. It became known as the Island of Death. But it didn't stop there. In the early 20th century, a psychiatric hospital was built on the island, and patients were said to scream through the night, not because of their illness, but because they saw things. Shadowed figures watching from the corners, eyes, whispers echoing from the empty chapel. One doctor, obsessed with experimental treatments, conducted lobotomies without anesthesia, using crude tools and claiming he was curing demons. Until one day, he jumped, or was pushed, from the bell tower. According to legend, he survived the fall, only to be dragged underwater by a mist that rose from the canal. His body was never recovered. To this day, no one lives there. The island is legally closed to the public. Locals say you can hear the bell ring at night, even though it was removed decades ago. Some tourists who tried to sneak in were found wandering the shore, barefoot and confused, unable to remember how they got there. One diver who explored the water around Poveglia described it like this: "It's not just the island that's dead, it's everything around it. Even the fish won't come close."
This confirms something strange too. The soil on Poveglia is more than 50% ash of people. So when people call it haunted, it's not just ghosts they're talking about.
It's the weight of 100,000 deaths soaked into the ground. And if you listen closely at night, the island breathes.
9th, the tomb of the unknown king Defrumeth, Mongolia. In the windswept plains of Mongolia,
Where the land stretches endlessly and the skies feel heavy with history, there's a story passed down in whispers, never written, never taught. The legend of the unknown king. No one knows his name. No empire claims him. But they say he once ruled over a kingdom so vast and powerful, it rivaled even Genghis Khan's. Yet his name was erased from all records, not by enemies, but by his own people. Why? Because of what he became. This way. According to ancient oral tradition, the unknown king was a conqueror, a mystic, and something else entirely. They say he found an object buried in the Altai Mountains, a black stone etched with shifting symbols. After that, his empire changed. Flourished where none should grow. Storms bent around his armies, and enemies vanished before battles even began. But with that power came something darker. His own people began to die in strange ways. Entire villages wiped out overnight, with no wounds, just fear etched onto frozen faces. Eventually, his generals turned against him, not to fight, but to seal him away. A secret burial, performed in silence, beneath the earth. They buried the king with the object, some say it wasn't a stone but a living thing, and then executed every man who knew the location, until no one was left. But in 1998, a team of researchers studying soil patterns in western Mongolia discovered a rectangular magnetic anomaly buried under 200 feet of untouched land. They called it Site 3G, the anomaly tomb. When they sent a probe down, the camera feed cut off after 11 seconds. All they saw was a perfectly preserved stone throne and something sitting on it, still upright. Eyes open. The team was pulled out. The data was sealed. Area declared a no-go zone by the Mongolian military. No country claims the site. No official documents mention it. But satellite imagery still shows something strange. The soil around Site 3G never freezes, even in winter. Some say the unknown king never truly died. Some say he waits beneath the ground, kept in place not by death, but by something ancient and watching. And if that seal ever breaks, he won't come back alone.
10th place, Lake Vostok Subglacial Lab, Los Andes, Antarctica.
Buried beneath 2.5 miles of ice, sealed away for over 15 million years, lies one of the most mysterious bodies of water on Earth, Lake Vostok. It's larger than the state of Delaware, completely untouched, shielded from sunlight, air, and life as we know it. But in 2012, Russian scientists drilled down into the lake for the first time. They said they were collecting water samples. But that's not the whole truth. What they found changed everything. Shortly after the drilling began, a classified division of the Russian government quietly moved in. A new facility, known only as Station Zero, was built 4 kilometers from the original site. Communications were rerouted. Civilian scientists were sent home. The real operation began in silence. Satellite imagery from 2013 shows heat signatures, not from machinery, but something moving under the ice, and
not once, repeatedly, as if circling the drill site. Inside Station Zero, researchers were given one task: catalog anything alive. Within a month, they found it. Not fish, not microbes, something with structure, symmetry, and most disturbing of all, a heartbeat. It wasn't long before scientists began reporting auditory hallucinations,
whispering voices, dreams and languages no one could speak. One researcher carved spirals into the walls of his quarters until his fingers bled. He was airlifted out, never spoken of again. Later that year, a weather station 40 miles away picked up an unexplained radio burst from beneath the ice, and
It repeated 3 times, then went silent. The next day, Station Zero stopped responding. When a recon team arrived, the lab was empty.
Lights still on, equipment humming, no signs of struggle except one. The entrance tunnel was collapsed from the inside.
reports claimed a structural failure.
Guys?
But satellite scans now show the lake bed beneath Vostok is no longer stable. Something down there is shifting.
It's fine with fact. Take me on a fried pie.
Guys?
Some believe the lab awoke something that had been waiting far longer than we've existed.
Something that remembers warmth and wants it back.
Here. The world is full of secrets, places hidden behind locked doors, and ancient warnings. Some say it's for our protection.
Thanks for watching. Stay curious, and stay cautious. And subscribe.